The DEA has just busted a Venezuelan gang pipeline as they were making their way across the Texas border. One of the men actually has tattoos on her shoulder, indicating a leadership role in the Trinana gang. The other men in their late teens and 20s were linked to crimes such as extortion, migrant trafficking, and violent offenses. Those men were all part of Maduro's criminal network, planting their roots on American soil. But the real problem is that many of them are already operational inside Texas. In fact, they even turned a hotel into their base of operations right in the heart of the state. But now, Texas authorities have had enough and have launched an offensive against the criminal gang. But not even the seasoned investigators could have expected what they found. Inside, there are a lot of pictures in these court documents showing several incidents from random people holding what appears to be weapons, including, you see this one here. This is a picture that shows it appears to be two men in some kind of altercation. As a matter of fact, here you're looking at sort of a mid-punch photo here. Cartels are now officially in the Pentagon's crosshairs. And it's not just the wall anymore. Trump ordered the kill shot. The days of local drug busts and random hotel, they were fun, but that's Breaking Bad stuff. TDA is core characterized as MS-13 on steroids. TDA is the largest criminal organization in Venezuela. If their cartels are killing people in the United States, and the MS-13 and Trinidad gangs are, why can't we kill their leaders just the same way President Trump pointed out we took care of Soleimani? Officials are concerned about what is going on with TDA. Its recent expansion and entry of this gang could destabilize public safety in the United States as well as in the state of Texas. Intelligence reports show TDA has been given the green light to shoot law enforcement officers in the United States. Texas will also use a newly passed law in our state to impose a mandatory minimum of at least 10 years behind bars against TDA gang members who smuggle people into Texas. So, Texas authorities have finally shut down the Gateway Hotel in El Paso after arresting more than 20 suspected Venezuelan gang members on the property. For many years, this place was just another old building in downtown El Paso that most people didn't pay much attention to. But according to the El Paso County attorney, it slowly turned into a notorious criminal hideout. In fact, over just the last 2 years, police were called to this hotel almost 700 times. Yes, you heard that right, 700 times. That's basically one police response every single day for 2 whole years. Yet, nothing was done. And just so you know, these calls were not just about simple noise complaints or minor disturbances. The footage coming out of the apartment showed far more serious situations. The hotel has seen many criminal incidents take place, including an incident on the 3rd floor. The lawsuit cites video evidence of an aggravated assault case. Documents say in the video, people can be seen partying, drinking, smoking, all while kids were around. The documents also alleged prostitution and gang activity. And not just that, there was footage of random people holding what appears to be a gun. In another clip, you can see a man punching someone during what seems to be a violent altercation right there inside the hotel. Now in the background, you can also see some other people drinking and smoking while it appears that children are present. I walked into the building and there was a very apparent cigarette smell as well as some broken looking furniture. And then we've got another one we want to show you as well. Take a look at this one here. Now, this is a woman right here in the corner of your screen, showing one of them holding a girl's hair back as she appears to be throwing up. These were all the doings of the criminal Venezuelan group, Trendiaru, and law enforcement officers confirmed that they saw men walking the hallways with tattoos tied to Trendiaragua. One officer even said that the hotel had basically become a recruiting and hiding spot for the gang. Now, the crazy thing is that this hotel was not even supposed to be operational to begin with. The hotel has also failed at least 3 inspections by the El Paso Fire Department. The documents stated the hotel has been in a deplorable state since the hotel violates around 90 city ordinances. According to the lawsuit, official arrest records also support claims that crimes happen at the hotel often, yet somehow it remained functional until that day when it was forcefully shut down. But just a short while after that, the gang struck back in the most brutal way imaginable, just as Texas officials were shutting down the Gateway Hotel and hauling suspects out of the criminal hideout. A much darker case broke open hundreds of miles away in North Texas. On August 24th, the body of 33-year-old Nissel Petit was found on Valley View, Lane in Irving. According to investigators, Peta had just returned from a party around 12:30 a.m. when he was abducted from his apartment. But Petit wasn't alone. He was abducted alongside two teenagers who were with him. From there, the gunman drove all three to a spot in Farmers Branch. And what happened next was a horrifying and carefully planned act of terror. They shot him execution style before dumping his body on Valley View Lane in nearby Irving, where his body was later found by a passing motorist a few hours later. Now, the shocking twist is that this was not a random act of violence. It was a targeted assassination because, according to investigators, Petit knew the people who murdered him. So the story was that he was allegedly part of a criminal network running a nationwide ATM theft scheme. And according to attorney John Helms, here's how the whole operation works. Some will know how to do it. They'll recruit other people, show them how to do it, and then they go off to different places around the country, hit some ATMs, and then come back. And that makes it harder to find them if they're hitting ATMs that are a long way away for where they're based out of. So everything was going pretty well for Petit and his gang until he wanted to rip them off. That was when they tracked him down and carried out what the authorities are now calling a debt collection hit. As for the two teenagers who were with him, they were later found alive and unharmed, which is a miracle because the gang that abducted them was not low-level criminals. Investigators later linked them to the same Venezuelan transnational trend gang. That discovery turned this from a local homicide into a multi-state manhunt. Two of the capital murder suspects were arrested by ICE in Aurora, Colorado, where alleged gang activity has played an exceptionally large role in politics. A third suspect was found and arrested in Los Cruces, New Mexico by Homeland Security. But even with three suspects in custody, the fourth suspect was still on the run. And knowing that such a dangerous killer was still somewhere out there sent families across northern Texas into panic and put even more pressure on state officials to act. Parents were demanding to know how a violent foreign gang could kidnap children in their own neighborhood. Local leaders called for a stronger response, saying Texas couldn't afford to wait for the next killing. Naturally, that pressure landed squarely on Governor Greg Abbott, who responded with one of the most aggressive anti-gang crackdowns Texas has ever seen. And he didn't just target the gang members on the streets. He went after their money, their safe houses, and even their legal status. Also today, I am officially declaring TDA a foreign terrorist organization. We will bring the full weight of the government against the TDA. One of Abbott's first moves was to formally elevate Trendy Arawa to a tier 1 criminal gang under Texas law. As you guys probably know, that's the highest possible threat level for organized crime groups operating in the state. And with that designation, DPS could treat every member and associate of the gang as a priority target with a huge state budget. Also, I signed laws that provide more than $100 million to support these anti-gang centers over just the next 2 years. But to more directly target TDA, Governor Abbott directed DPS to launch a coordinated operation through all 9 of Texas's anti-gang centers located in cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, El Paso, Houston, San Antonio, and McAllen. These centers act as intelligence hubs, bringing together state troopers, local police, and federal partners under one roof. Their mission to find trendy Aragua members, monitor their movements, and take them off the streets as quickly as possible. Additionally, the governor also signed a new law setting mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for human smuggling. That move alone hits the gang where it hurts most, their main source of cash. And according to Abbott, cutting off that pipeline of money is just as important as making arrests. But Abbott didn't stop there, and his next move could wipe out any traces of this criminal gang in the state of Texas. Also, I directed the DPS to create a new TDA strike team made of highway patrol officers, DPS special agents, Texas Rangers, SWAT teams, including aircraft, helicopters, and drones, K-9 teams, and intelligence units. So now the question is, are all of these enough to shut down the cartel pipeline for good, or will the criminal gang adapt, rebuild, and come back even stronger? Please feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth videos like this.